Hello, everybody. Hello, whoever you are, wherever you are in this beautiful, beautiful red world that we live in. This is Cop On Podcast. You probably know that already. I'm going to start today's exciting episode, with a poem called Heroics by Marguerite V. Young. It goes like this. Now in a world of wind and foam, among the nebulous blue rocks where the storm breathes, he walks. Nevertheless, he will come home. Others will fear for him where the wind crosses his breast with the wrath of storm, but he will have moved a step beyond the clouds, foreshadowing his doom. I'm delighted to be joined by Jack from Jack Mac LFC and by Nigel over in Ireland. Absolutely wonderful to have you both with us. Jack, the final whistle went, I don't know, about an hour ago or so. Divock, he sends us, he moves a step beyond the clouds, foreshadowing his own doom. But he sends us to the clouds as well, the clouds of joy and wonder. Talk to me about Divock Origi and your love for the man.
Divock, whatever happens in the summer, we still got a lot of important goals, games. Hopefully, come at the end of the May. But tremendous, mate. Which we'll probably speak about today. He done his job. We'll speak about his build up for the first one, but absolutely tremendous. It's the attitude, really. I think Jurgen Klopp spoke about it in his post match. The attitude of the players that not necessarily don't get in the first team every single week, but he's not moaned one bit since he's been at Liverpool Football Club, mate. But he bleeds red. He loves scoring against the Everton. He helped us relax, especially at the back end of the second half. But you run out of superlatives, really, mate, to describe Divock Origi. A cult hero, I'll say that.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. What a guy. The list of goals scored against Everton by Divock Origi from lfchistory.net are as follows. I'll give you the complete list. He's got 6 of them now, and I believe it's 9 appearances, which is crazy. So the first one was in a 4-0 victory on the 20th of April 2016. He scored in the 43rd minute. On the 1st of April 2017, April Fool's Day, then he showed Everton to be the fools that they are by scoring again in a 3-1 victory. The 2nd of December 2018 is one that you may remember. He scored the winning goal in a 1-0 victory at Anfield in the 96th minute. And wasn't it funny today when that shot from Diaz looped up and almost hit the crossbar, and Divock was there and he was ready? That was hilarious. That was his 3rd goal against Everton, and since then he's got 3 more. He got 2 in the 5-2 Premier League victory as Liverpool went on to win the league that season. Jurgen Klopp fielding a much changed side, and nevertheless we hammered them 5-2. Divock getting 2 goals. Remember that first finish from Dejan Lovren's hugely long ball, and Divock just whacked it over Pickford. He didn't dink it over him, he whacked it over him. And he scored another one in that game that slipped my mind for now, but the one that hasn't slipped my mind is today's goal. Nigel, how delighted are you with Divock?
Absolutely thrilled. Jurgen said it. I heard Jurgen's interview on my way home in the car, and he said, Divock Origi is a legend. There is no other way to describe the man. You've got to remember as well that guy, that Funes Mori, do you remember that? When he snapped Divock, he pretty much put him out for months on end. And he came back and played his part again. He literally snapped him. So nothing but love for Divock. Like the t-shirts are going to be going around Liverpool tomorrow. Football without Origi is nothing.
It sure is. I mean, it's we just have to appreciate this team as good as we are. But having Divock in our side is just the extra edge. I mean, I don't care if he's sixth choice or whatever. Jurgen Klopp's got to take a lot of credit for it. Jurgen Klopp today with those two substitutions, because we were huffing and puffing, and Everton's shitty house wasn't blowing down. So Jurgen, I didn't see it. I didn't see that it was even an option to bring off a midfielder and an attacker and put on two attackers. The obvious choice would have been to bring on Henderson and an attacker. But he came up with the goods once again. Jurgen, it was a brilliant substitution, wasn't it, Jack? Talk to me. How it changed, how the game changed.
Yeah, absolutely spot on there, mate. He said it's what Origi, Diaz, obviously tremendous bicycle kick. Didn't quite get it executed perfectly, but he's got the bottle really in a little samba. I know there's a bit of Colombian flair. As soon as he controlled that ball, little back heel. It's great to see the lads got such confidence, as we've already spoke about the last couple of weeks, haven't we, all of us? And he gives Coleman probably the worst 20 minutes of the season, really. Put him on his backside a couple of times, and we've got Origi to come off the bench, Diaz, Firmino, obviously didn't come on today, but we still got players to bring off. But Jurgen Klopp, like we've already spoke, all of us, he's been absolutely spot on all season. That's one tactically, he's been absolutely superb in every aspect in terms of defensive display as well today. We're just so blessed that we've got Pep Linders as well. I think he deserves a lot of credit, and a lot of the lads in the backroom staff as well. But Jurgen bloody Norbert Klopp, every substitution, especially the last couple of weeks. I've forgotten the game, but I think it was like 2 weeks ago, or the last couple of weeks, he's been getting them absolutely spot on, especially in Europe as well. Really, the rotation, I think, when people spoke about obviously team selection, but Jurgen went strong today, and obviously it was great to see Naby and Thiago start. That was probably our strongest midfield that played today, but prioritising one game at a time, that mantra of we just got to tick them all off as much as we want to try and not look ahead to the Champions League. We've done our job today. But Jurgen, bloody love the man. All of us do.
You're absolutely right. Get in, Jurgen. He switched the game around. And in a way, Nigel, it's good, I think, tactically, this game today. I mean, Everton were playing, a poor man's Diego Simeone, Jose Mourinho, if you like, anti-football. And I just think tactically, Jurgen again came up with the answer. But thinking about it, it might be quite a good dress rehearsal for Villarreal, right? I mean, what did you make of the tactical battle today?
Yeah, that was said in the aftermath on the LFC TV channel on the way home. They said it's good. They're going to sit there. Those guys are going to sit back and they're going to try and do the same thing, low block, and we're going to have to be ready for the same thing. They're going to try and shithouse their way through again. Simple
so in a way, I mean, thanks to Frank Lampard, not only giving us another 3 points, but giving us a handy little dress rehearsal for Wednesday. But let's stick with today for now. Nigel, staying with you, who if I ask you to name someone apart from Divock who captured your heart from today, who would it be?
Andy Robbo, superb. Didn't see the block in the end. Like I said, I was driving home and I was listening to the car on Bluetooth, the LFC TV app, and definitely Robbo, man of the match. Yeah. He got in there where it hurts again. Could have got his face kicked in for the goal when it came across. Put the head down where most people wouldn't put boots, and then I heard he cleared one off the line as well at the other side. So he was in everything.
He was brilliant, yeah, defensively as well. The goal gave him a great lift, didn't it, Jack? He was, he sprayed a 60-yard pass. Not long after that, he was full of running, and loads of people, me included, expected to see Kostas, the Greek scouser, Krostas Tsimikas today, but Kloppo stuck with Robbo, and what a brilliant reward for him to get that goal. He loves scoring. Andy Robbo, he goes as mad as we do when he scores, doesn't he? Just absolute joy. And if only Pickford had flumped to the floor like he had been doing, to waste time. If he'd done that, he would have saved the ball. But no, I mean, talk to me about Robbo and his performance today. I thought he was magnificent.
Yeah, it was beautiful, Nigel. I'm pretty sure you've seen, obviously, the highlights, but if you watch the whole game on tonight, it was beautiful, mate. That was a match-winning tackle, interception, whatever you want to call it. He's like us, Robbo, and he lives and breathes Liverpool Football Club. His veins were popping out of his neck when he was celebrating like all of us. He probably fist bumping the car wherever he's around the world. Just that gave him a lot of confidence as well. Not that he needs it, because he's a tremendous player in every aspect. But what I love, especially in the derby, as you would expect, handbags were out for the large majority. And don't get me started on Richie bloody diving. If he actually spent more time on his feet and actually making intelligent attacking runs, something that he doesn't do often. But Robbo, it's his attitude, especially if there was like when the handbags happened and everyone was like at each other's throats, really, which you expect in a derby. That's what we all love about it. But Robbo was one of the first people there every single time. He was in the faces, roughing them up, winding them up. We all love Robbo doing that. He's probably the best at it. And that's something that we've learned over the years. You need that in your team. You need just a bit of attitude within your squad, and he'll put every little last ounce on the football pitch. But the interception was key. But the intelligence, in-game intelligence, especially when Everton were counter-attacking the odds, even though they had one shot on target, but it was Gordon diving, disgraceful. If he actually didn't dive in the first half, I think Everton would potentially have got that pen. But the referee, in recent weeks, Gordon's been getting a couple of bookings for simulation, so that played on the mind, and rightly so. Needs to stay on his feet, because he was probably one of the brightest sparks, Gordon. But Robinson, especially on that right-hand side with Damari Gray, he really didn't have a sniff. Absolutely superb defensive display as well, mate, as well as going forward. But obviously, Jürgen, as we'll probably speak about tonight, mate, obviously going to a 4-2-4, but Robinson overloading, like we've seen with the goal. He's not scared to get into the box, and that's what we just needed, that extra man at the back post, overloading on the right flank of Everton's, and tremendous header. Still had quite a lot to do. Obviously, it was a lovely flick ball to the back post, but the neck muscles and neck power ready to guide that ball into the back of the net, really tremendous, Andy. The Flying Scotsman.
The Flying Scotsman. And as you said, a lot of needle, more needle than my auntie's sewing circle. Nigel, Andy Robert. I mean, he was absolutely amazing. But in the first half, okay, it was cagey, very cagey. It was, I mean, you could have called animal rights, campaigners. It was that cagey. But we didn't manage a shot on target. We only managed 3 shots, apparently, according to one graphic that I saw. But then the graphic at the end of the game is that we managed 18 shots with 4 shots on target. What went wrong in the first half for you? Because we were dragged down to their murky, boorish, amateur level, weren't we?
Well, I'm going to give myself a little pat on the back here. I was working today, and like I said, I had another Liverpool fan working with me, and I said to him and to anyone else that was in the shop at the time, we've got to get round the back. We've got to get behind them and get the ball across. First goal, what happened? We got the ball down, got in behind him, flicked it across, in round the back. That's what we do best. That's our kind of our go-to. When the chips are down and we need to score, you look at it. Robbo's goal against Villa, the late goal, the cross, the different types of crosses we can hit, getting behind their fullbacks or getting behind their centre backs and making them turn and setting them up for someone coming into the ball, running onto the ball while they're turning is vital for us. Simple as that. That's it. Too much sideways football we were playing. We were knocking too much sideways football, and they were just putting banks like that. They were just kind of in front of us the whole time, and we didn't get behind them at all.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, they had five centre backs basically, and two just in front. They were playing a back seven. Loads of comments coming in. It's really great that everyone's with us. We've got Gary and Alan and Rory Fitzgerald in the chat. Hi everybody! It's really great that you're here, and thanks to everybody who's listening. We've got loads of people here. Dylan's here as well. He says hi. Excellent. Hello. Thank you. Do hit the like button. All of that stuff. But yeah, Everton, I mean, the one thing, I mean, I was terrified in the 72nd minute when Demarai Gray hit that shot so sweetly, and I thought it was going to absolutely rifle into the top corner. There were also some moments at the beginning of the second half because I was taking notes, and on 50 minutes, Matip, great tackle. 54 minutes, Gordon goes down. There's no penalty after Matip, of course, he was diving. Gordon was onside and he shot wide on 56 minutes. All of my notes are about Everton on the break, and there's one player I do want to talk about, Jack, and that's Joel Matip, because he was so good today. He was so good at closing everything, because we had to take the risk, as Nigel was saying. We had to push up. We had to try and turn them around. We had to put more and more people forward, and even in the first half and the second half, we were open to the break, and Matip was there, closing the door, slamming it in their toffee twerp faces. So talk to me about Joel.
Yeah, Colossus, mate. Obviously, we've just got the ability to play Kanate, Matip, Van Dijk, Gomez as well. Whoever we do play, the Jürgen, and we all know how good our centre back. It allows us to play this high line attacking threat in which we do offer. But especially today, mate, and especially Trent as well. I think he deserves a lot of credit because Gordon was their best threat or best opportunity of getting a goal. Today, probably one of the most paciest wingers within the Premier League. And if Ev do go down, I don't think they'll be able to keep hold of him, even though he is a local lad. He's an Everton boy through and through. But I think there'll be a lot of clubs sniffing around Everton Football Club for him if they do go down. But yeah, Matip, especially down the right-hand side with Trent, as you said, mate. Obviously, if it was a Wobie Gray, Richarlison when he wasn't diving, when he did get through, Matip was that. Especially in the 1v1s, obviously Virgil and they've dealt with so many great attacking forwards over the last couple of years, especially Matip and Van Dijk. But his 1v1, what I love about Matip, and Van Dijk and Matip, they exude confidence. They've got such confidence within each other. But Matip, we've had players, centre-backs in the past, haven't we, at Liverpool Football Club, that try and think that they're better than they actually are and lunge in to tackles. You don't do this in a Liverpool team at the current moment in time. Matip bides his time, even if he is 5 yards behind. He positions himself correctly, waits for the right time, like a gazelle or a lion, to pounce and intercept the ball. And he done that absolutely tremendous, especially in the right areas today, when Everton did kind of get into those. But Van Dijk and Matip were absolutely tremendous. But as much as we've praised Robbo as well, and Trent, especially people's agendas on social media, and people don't actually watch like the non-Liverpool fans. They're quick to jump on Trent when he gets beat, but Trent was absolutely phenomenal today, mate. From a defensive point, that right-hand side of the defense was superb.
Yeah, he had to deal with a lot of things. Did Trent? Absolutely. I mean, we may as well talk about all of the defense whilst we're here, because Gary in the comments has said, Virgil van Dijk was brilliant, and he was imperious again. Again, and the stats don't show it. 0 tackles for Virgil van Dijk, 2 interceptions, no clearances, no blocked shots, no fouls. So if you just look at the stats, you think, well, what did he do? And the answer is everything that you need from a central defender, because he was calm, he was brilliant. Nigel.
Yeah. Heard a stat the other night, or during a recent game. If your centre half is diving in, making tackles, he's doing something wrong. It's as simple as that. That's the stat. Virgil doesn't have to make tackles. He stands up, he stands big, he wins ball. It's as simple as that.
Absolutely.
That's it. It's just as simple as that.
Yes, I mean it was Paolo Maldini, wasn't it, who famously said, yeah, if you're making tackles as a centre back, then or as a defender, then you're getting things wrong. And someone should tell the Man United analysts when they shelled out 50 million for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. But, let's not continue to laugh at Man United. That was last week. This is this week. We get to laugh at Everton. Jack, before, the match, I was thinking that, it'd be a bit of a shame if Everton go down because they're so funny. They give us so much. They give us, such a giraffe, to use the Cockney rhyming slang. But during this match, the way they played and the way that, their attitude, I'm like, nah, sod it. Like this going down. Good, frankly, dear Lampard, I don't give a damn. Send them down, send them to the Hades of the Championship, and long may they rot there for all eternity. What do you think?
Yeah, and some of the stories, I was listening to my mates as well, and going into the ground. Small minority of the Everton fans, what they were doing in Liverpool City Centre was disgraceful as well. But the team...
What were they doing? What were they doing? I didn't know that story.
Just
what was it?
Chanting stuff, nonsense, disgusting stuff to say. Won't put any more on that matter anyway. But it was absolutely tremendous, in terms of Liverpool point of view. But Everton, they're spineless, absolutely spineless. It's Everton, as much as we joke about them, they're still a massive football club in relation to obviously they were competing, as we spoke about in the pre-match build-up with Liverpool titles, or not too long ago, well, a very long time ago, but they have fallen from grace so much. The players on the pitch today, Richarlison, or the whinging he was doing, Coleman, it's great to see, absolutely phenomenal to see from our point of view, but Everton keep on going all of this home form and the big games that they were playing that really, they're not going to get out of it. I've not got any replies from my Everton mates, as you would expect. Probably
they switched off their phones. I've chucked it in the Mersey, maybe.
Yeah, it's so spineless. I think spineless is the best way to describe Everton Football Club from the top to the bottom. The mismanagement is beautiful to watch from an outside point of view. I know certain families in Merseyside and probably around the world probably kind of split, but at the minute it's absolutely spineless in every aspect. But I can't see them surviving, especially after today's. But you can say yes, you showed a bit of fight, but they're running out of games. The games are getting ticking off, but it's beautiful to watch from my point of view. Very sure a couple of years as well, but absolutely phenomenal stuff.
It is glorious. I mean, never has the song Liverpool a magic, Everton a tragic rung truer, has it, Nigel? I mean, the Dylan said an interesting thing in the comments here. Dylan Cullen, says Everton will have to start actually playing football now. And if they do go down, they won't come back up as quick, which is a very, very good point. Yeah, I think he's right. I think they will have to start playing football, which, is always a bit of a, like a bit like, I don't know, it's a bit Benny Hill, bit slapstick, bit Marx Brothers to watch Everton try and play football at times, isn't it, Nigel? What do you make of it? Are they sinking down? Is the Blues ship sinking?
I hope so, because based on what's been happening recently, I go back to what I said to you before we came on. Funes Mori, when he clattered Origi that time, and then we had 2 years ago, when Van Dijk got taken out and when Thiago got taken out. And I was listening, Dylan that was on there, Dylan is my workmate. So we were just talking about it, and then the kick started coming. That's one of the main reasons I want to see Everton down. I hope they go head first, tumbling, diving into the Championship like they were doing in the middle of the first half. The cheap stuff starts coming out. The studs start coming out. Richarlison heading the football when it's 0-0 and going down in a heap for 10 minutes. And he caused that row before half-time as well, because he was on the ground and we wouldn't kick the ball out because he was play acting. And rightly so. Yeah. So I don't think I will have absolutely no sympathy whatsoever. I hope they get relegated. I hope they get relegated next week. Last week, I hope they got relegated. They're absolutely abysmal.
Well, they are indeed. I mean, I've actually got all their results in front of me. They started the season well, would you believe? They They beat Southampton. They drew with Leeds United. Then they beat Brighton, and then they beat Burnley. Then they lost to Villa, but then they beat Norwich. And you're thinking, wow, Everton, there you go. 4 wins from the first 6 games, 1 draw, 1 loss. This is their year, the power shift. But then, since the 25th of September, that win over Norwich City, 2-0 on the 25th of September last year, they have won, it's very easy to count, 1, 2, 3, 4 matches. It's absolutely, it must be dire to see them, because I mean, I can't tell you all the red results of losses that, like they lost 5-0 to Spurs, 2-0 to Southampton. They are absolute garbage, and they're running, for the record, in the Premier League. They're playing Chelsea, Leicester, Watford, Brentford, Crystal Palace, and Arsenal. It's far from easy, and Burnley are on the up now that they've gotten rid of Sean Dyche. They don't have a chance, Nigel. They're going down. This is it. This is the last time
I'll tell you how bad
for ages.
I'll tell you how bad Everton are. They only beat Man United 1-0. Absolutely atrocious. They are really, really bad.
Yeah. I mean, I saw that 1-0 victory for them. That was on the 9th of April. Just a couple of weeks ago. I saw that the second half of that victory with my friend David in an Irish bar. We walked in for the second half, and there was this quite a large guy there who looked exactly like a sort of large version of Frank Lampard, and it was weird. It was like his brother. It was really strange, but like it was actual. We extract the urine sometimes and we call him Fat Frank, but of course he's not actually very fat, is he? But this was actual Fat Frank, was in the pub. And my friend David, I mean, he's very forthright with his opinions, and he was, speaking quite loudly about just how much garbage, was in front of us, Everton, Man United. He said, he's a Man United fan and he can't watch them because they're just it's just like tripe. It's like watching, a butcher, with tripe. I don't know. Anyway, Fat Frank, his brother, he had to leave because he was like obviously getting into this match. He thought that it was really good, and he looked like he turned around. He looked like he wanted to punch us, but because we were just insulting them so much. But it's true, because they are garbage. They're garbage. They're tripe. And they deserve to go down if they do go down. Excellent stuff. Gary Richards put it very succinctly. Everton are buggered now. Excellent stuff. But let's go back. Let's look at some player ratings in our defence then. So Andy Robbo, man of the match. We'll give him 10, will we? 10? Yeah, I'm getting some nods there.
Derby 10. 100% to the Derby.
10 in the Derby, yeah. I mean, and some of the stats, I mean, he only made 1 clearance defensively. He didn't have much to do defensively, but passing-wise, 92.8% passing accuracy. Absolutely mad from a left-back. From 83 passes, he had 12 crosses, only 2 accurate crosses, but that doesn't matter, does it? 4 out of 8 accurate long balls as well. So with the ball, he was making things happen. He was trying long passes. He had 1 key pass as well, and then offensively, of course, he had the goal. He had two efforts at goal, 1 goal and 1 key pass. Andy Robertson, 10 out of 10. I'm tempted to give Joel Matip 10 out of 10 as well, because he had 2 efforts at goal, but defensively he made 6 tackles, and he had to step in at this point, regardless of the Paolo Maldini quote, because it was harem scarum at the back there. And
9.5 for Joel.
A 9.5, okay.
9.5 for Joel.
9.5. What 9.5? Okay, well, I've been outvoted. 9.5 because he's not quite on Robbo's level. What about Big Verge, Jack? What do you reckon?
Yeah, give him a 9. 9, yeah. It's the thing. As Nigel was saying brilliantly, he doesn't make rash decisions, and it's Virgil van Dijk, isn't it? But 9.
Yeah,
we're just so used to so many 9s. Yeah.
9. Okay, all right. And what about Trent? What would you give Trent, Nigel?
I give him 9 as well, but just the only thing that's wrong is some of the crosses are a little bit low today that were hitting. They weren't clearing the first man again, but defensively he did well. I mean, that guy was trying to run the legs off him today, and he got back a couple of times. So I give Trent a 9. For a fella that can't defend, he does really well.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? 3 tackles, 2 interceptions, and 1 clearance. Very, very solid defensively. But yeah, with the ball, I thought it was a bit strange. I thought his first 15 minutes was very poor, actually. I actually looked at the stats. He only had a 70% passing accuracy. He kept giving the ball away in the first 15 minutes. I mean, but then he grew into the game, as they say, and he ended up with an 81.8% passing accuracy, 4 key passes. He could have had an assist. He didn't end up with one, I think. But yeah, what did you make of Trent, Jack?
Yeah, I'd agree with Nigel as always. 9, yeah, very solid. As I mentioned, Gordon played quite well for them. Sadly, but yeah, he dealt with him pretty superb, and you won't be. Hopefully, someone's made a compilation of all the Trent tackles, interceptions, as you said there, Owen. But because it doesn't fit their agendas, does it? So, but Trent scouting the team, he knew what today meant for the whole of the red half of Merseyside. But Trent, mate, 9 for me.
Excellent stuff. And let us know in the comments as well what you think, what you make of all of our players. It's great stuff. Alisson, just to complete the defense, Alisson Becker, just for falling on the ball.
Oh yeah, I was going to say the shit housey from him. That's going to be the best shit house you've heard in my French, but it is all season. Like it's going to be the best ropes of the season.
Go on.
A bigger flop than Harry Maguire.
Well, yeah, even if that's possible, absolutely.
Well, no, it isn't.
I mean, in case anyone couldn't remember, in case anyone might have missed the last minutes for some reason, firstly, what the hell are you doing? And secondly, just to explain it to you, he caught the ball. It was quite a weak shot by, I think, Richarlison. And then he just flopped to the ground. He fell. He was like it was like exactly like Pickford did. It was so funny. It was so perfect. And about time too. I would like to, when Richarlison was going down, I want someone to fall down next to him and pretend to cry and things like that. I reckon we should do it right.
And Luis Suarez, like against David Moyes, was it?
Yes.
Was it David Moyes? Remember when he dived in front of the technical area?
I mean, that's the kind of thing that's very funny to see. But what about going into the midfield? Fabinho had one very ambitious shot, as I remember, but I can't really remember it. 90.8% passing accuracy. Is he? I don't know. With Fabinho, I mean, he broke up attacks, 2 tackles according to WhoScored.com. He broke up a few breaks and a few attacks. He was a solid, I don't know, like a solid 7 maybe. He didn't do anything particularly. He didn't really stand out for me today. What do you think, Jack?
Yeah, I'd agree with a 7, mate, just due to the opposition mainly. I think we're so used to better teams come at Liverpool. He's got a lot more work to do usually. Our defence dealt with him, but I think he tried his best, especially we've already mentioned in the first half. Everton stopped us from having even a shot on target. So he tried his best, Fabinho. He was trying the odds ball over the top. Wasn't quite working, but I think it was a comfortable, standard Fabinho performance. But I think he was just bored. In reality, usually has a bit more to go. But I go with a 7, mate. Yeah, solid standard Fabinho performance.
I'll agree with that. He was a little out of sorts. Some of his passes weren't coming off today, but he just does that job. His not exactly great game is still better than anybody else's.
I mean, it's true. We can't take him for granted. I mean, He did nothing came through the middle of the pitch, did it today? And that's a lot to do with Fabinho. I mean, alongside him, of course, Thiago and Keita. Start off with Thiago. I find it ridiculous that last week he posted 90. I think it was around about 93% passing accuracy against United, which is, I mean, it's mind-blowing. And that was from over 100 passes. Today, I'll just get the amount of passes, if I can, in front of me. Yeah, 122 passes. I mean, Nigel's just puffing out his cheeks there, if you didn't know that for the audio listeners. Yeah. I mean, it is that kind of kind of stat. But how many of those, if you were to posit a guess, if you were to hazard a guess, what do you reckon his passing accuracy was today? If last week he was sensational, he got about 93%. Any ideas, anybody?
Not that much different. I'd say about 91 maybe.
91,
He didn't
maybe?
misplace that many passes.
It's true. It's true. What do you reckon, Jack?
I'd go 85.
98.4%. From 122 passes.
Oh my lord.
90. Yeah. Oh my lord.
Oh.
I don't know. That's got to be a record. That's got to be a record. From 122 passes. So he was, he wasn't the metronome. He was the batteries in the metronome. He was everything. He was the rhythm. He was the electromagnetic field around the game that kept
apart from that
together.
Apart from that, Owen, I think he won about 4 sliding tackles today for possession, particularly in the first half. He did it, I think, 3 times in the first half. Slid in, took the ball clean as a whistle, and got up and got on with the game. That's how important that is. If Fabinho is not performing at his absolute best, which I don't think he did today, but he's just an absolute one-off as a footballer. Just such a. I totally agree with what you said about rhythm. He's our heart, our beat, and you get people built in around him, and let him do his thing, and he'll destroy most teams because they're just not able for that.
Yeah, this would be like the blueprint of why we brought him in, wouldn't it, boys, as well? Like
Absolutely.
These games, I think what you want from your midfield players, especially when it wasn't going our way in the first half, we're seeing, well, that just shows 98% pass accuracy. Someone that doesn't give the ball away, he's continuing, he believes in the philosophy in which it's being drilled into him, especially, obviously, we see him at Bayern, but coming into Liverpool now, a player that sometimes, the majority of the times, he's not scared to play that killer ball like we're seeing against the Manx. But today, even when there was not many clear-cut passing lanes, he wasn't scared to just continue. They all believed in the philosophy and the what he'd done all week prior to the game. But absolutely superb, mate, Thiago. But this is, if you could pick a game to why we brought Thiago in, I'd probably say this game, especially when there's not many passing channels as well to find space. But Thiago is one of the best players in Europe to do that.
He really is, and I love what you're saying about him. Having the patience and the experience to just keep going. It was difficult for him in the first half, being man-marked by Decore, but he pulled backwards, making space behind Decore. Very, very intelligent. We've got a new guest who's joined us. Is it Scouse? Is it Scouse L? I mean, it says yes.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello,
Evening.
Hello, Al. Welcome to Cop On. Now, you were in the hospitality lounge today?
I was, mate, yeah.
Oh, tell us about it. Tell us about your experience. What are some of the things you want to talk about?
Yeah, I was really good, mate, to be fair. I've had one too many, but yeah.
Well, you're more than welcome. I mean, join us. There you go. Were you sort of being, were you being
games? But I think Everton comes to just put 11 men behind the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Everton just wanted 11 men behind the ball. They come for a draw and come unstuck, didn't they? Never got it, so fuck them.
They did. Did you go crazy when Robbo got the first one?
That's my opinion. I thought they came for the draw. I don't know about you lads, what you lads think, but I think they came for the draw.
Oh, they definitely, 100%. But what were you doing? Were you sort of, leaping around with Mark Wright and people like that?
I'm quite calm. Nigel should know though. Come on, Nigel, you see me at the match.
Yeah. Calm enough, but I can imagine a little bit of a reaction.
Yeah.
Great. And I don't know, what do you reckon we were just doing player ratings and the extraordinary stat that Thiago had 122 passes and 98.4% passing accuracy. Could you tell in the ground just how brilliant Thiago's performance was? Oh, we lost him. He's ducked out. Maybe he's stumbled on his phone and hit the cancel button, or maybe I said something wrong, Nigel, but there you go.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, maybe I've offended him. Well, sorry, Scousel. Maybe he'll be back in a moment. But there you go. Welcome. He's more than welcome. Naby Keita in the midfield. So, sorry, what are we giving Thiago? What are we giving him out
9.
of 10? 9? 9.5? Can I convince you for a 9.5? Given that amazing stat.
Well,
Yeah,
just for those stats. How about 9.8 for the percentage?
9.8.
Yeah, go on,
exactly.
yeah.
Very good. Very good. Okay, let's do that. Excellent stuff. And okay, and Naby Keita, what did you make of his performance? I mean, he was, a little bit difficult. I thought he found it a little bit difficult. 83.3% passing accuracy, 2 key passes, 1 shot. He had only a total of 42 passes. Compare that to Thiago's 122, but of course he missed the last half an hour of the match. It wasn't his best game, Jack. What would you say for Naby?
Yeah, he tries his best. That's all. It's great to see just Naby on the football pitch, really. I think the good run of games in which he has had over the last couple of weeks. It's difficult when there's such close spaces, really. It's difficult. I think he thrives in, most importantly, space, opposition, especially when the game's open. I think Naby thrives, especially when we've seen in his time at RB Leipzig anyway. But today, as I said, he did come off for the substitution and tried his best. That's all you can ask about Naby. It's not like he slumped. He done the basic. It's similar with Fabinho, as we mentioned. Standard Naby Keita. 1 week he'll banger, Waldian. Tried his best. It was the opening passages of the first half. He tried a little shot, but a 7 mate for me. It was a good Naby performance.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. What do you reckon, Nigel, on Naby?
Yeah, same thing. It's just hard for him to get involved in the game because we were going 83% is probably all those passes we had in the first half when everything was kind of going sideways, and the only one that seemed to be hitting any kind of forward pass was Thiago with the diagonals out to Mo. It just we were kind of very stale in the first half due to the tactics that the opposition were employing. So it's very hard for us to implement a game plan that suits Naby when they play like that. We can't play our game.
So, I mean, would he? Because I thought Henderson, he only played 10 minutes at the end of the match, Hendo, but he was brilliant when he came on. Yeah. He was really dynamic. So, do you think that Henderson maybe, finally, at the end of the day, maybe Henderson suits playing against a low block a bit more than Naby, or is that, I don't know. Because, I mean, Naby, he went off when it was still 0-0 and it became 1-0 very soon after. So, I don't know. Would he keep his place against Villarreal for you, Nigel?
Jack, with I think he might start Henderson against Villarreal and possibly bring Naby on. If we can score a couple of goals, or 1 goal even, it might open up for Naby more. Naby is suited to an open game. When United tried to play against us at their place earlier in the season, and Naby had an absolute field day. That's Naby's type of game. If we can get him on the ball, when he can go forward and when he can close down opposition, rather than having to break down a low block. But I like Naby. I think he's really, really good. He'll do a good job for us once teams get broken down a bit.
Yeah, okay. So he's more suited to the final than the semi-final, but let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Jack, what do you reckon on the Naby Keita for Villarreal question?
Yeah, I'd like to see him, and I think what all of us are hoping for. It'd be interesting to see how it works on Wednesday night. I think we can get a couple of goals ahead, get an advantage, and then we potentially could rotate in the second leg, but we'll focus 1 game at a time. But as Nigel said, Naby plays best, and he will get that space, especially in a European game like we have seen against Atletico Madrid so many times this season as well when he has played in Europe. But with Hendo, 100% agree with you boys as well. That's what we needed from Hendo. When I was doing my watch along, I was like, please, Hendo, put in a great performance. And that's what he put in, a typical Henderson performance, coming in, kept his head, especially at that moment in time, really. We got our second goal and he reassured the Liverpool midfield, especially I think we took off, was an attacker. I think we were playing a 4-2-4 at that time. And then obviously we brought Hendo on, put an extra man in midfield, got a bit more control. Not that we were losing control, but just need that bit more reassurance in terms of just controlling, seeing the game out. And Hendo, excellent. Even if it was like 10, 15, players can come on and have a bad spell when they come on, but you're not going to get that from Henderson today.
I think we might have switched.
Go on.
Yeah, I think we might have slightly switched our focal point as well when we switched our system from, like, when we take off, say, Sadio Mane, and was it Naby that came off that as well, because I was kind of in work at the time, and when we switched our system and went to 4-2-4 instead, I think our focal point slightly switched to the wing rather than the middle, and our kind of way through was going to be on the wings rather than Everton sitting back and we're in front of them looking at them like that. We switched over to, say, Diaz or Mo on the left-hand side, and it might have thrown them a little bit, and that's why we scored so quickly afterwards. Our whole kind of demographic from down the middle changed to try and get wide and get behind them, and it worked.
Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, brilliant analysis. That's exactly right. It's exactly what happened. So, bravo to everyone. Hendo's getting a 9.5 for his cameo because it was absolutely brilliant. Okay, and then, but you said, who did he come on for? He came on for Diogo Jota. So when we talk about the attack, Jota, yeah, Diogo Jota today, he had 78.1% passing accuracy, it's good for him. Which I don't mean to sound patronising, but normally he's around about 65%. So he did very well at keeping the ball, much better than usual. Sadio Mane, on the other hand, only had 69.7% passing accuracy, which is definitely an off day for him in his 60 minutes on the field. So Diogo Jota had 81 minutes on the field, 32 passes, 78.1% passing accuracy, one key pass. He actually managed one shot and one dribble. He was fouled once. And I don't know, it was a little bit hard for him because, he was playing up there. He was out on the left. He was sometimes in the middle, and he had 3 or 4 Everton players around him, big Everton defenders, and they sort of snaffled him quite well, Everton. So I rarely give credit to Everton, but their game plan was out to nullify our attack, and it worked for Mane and Jota. So I'd give them both a bit like a 6. Sadio Mane had 2 shots, one dribble as well. Maybe that was the thing that we needed to see a bit more of, a few more dribbles from Sadio. But I don't know. It was all a lot of huff and puff, and the sandcastle stayed up.
Having to kind of play with their backs to goal the whole time, with not only the defenders, like you said, on top of them, but the midfield as well. Double low block. You've got like two banks of 5 in the goalkeeper basically, and then hoof the ball over the top and try and run. They're just, it's very, very difficult to play up top when they're all sitting back, and the guys who are going to suffer is the guy who was trying to work in a small space, which is usually the centre forwards.
Absolutely, and it helps if they got a bit more physicality. And unfortunately, Jota didn't really have the physicality, or Mane, not compared to Divock, who was brilliant when he came on. We can talk more about him if we want. But for Mane and Jota, Mane as well, Jack. Diogo Jota, Sadio Mane. I don't know. Talk to me. I was worried when Mane, he raised an arm to one of the Everton players, got a card for it, and he was sort of brought down to their.
Their level
of which is awful. It's just like their level of mud. But no, he wasn't that bad. He wasn't as bad as them. But
I'd give him an extra slight, a 0.5 rated just for the antics. Him and Jota, especially as we said at the top of the show, handbags wear out at certain passages of play. But yeah, that's what you get from especially Jota and Mane. Both of them, they're not scared. As we said, we've learned at our cards over the last couple of years. And those two, if you get drawn into a fight, obviously they've got to keep their heads, and they've learned that now. But they didn't get bullied one bit. In a sense, yes, you can talk about them losing possession, but as Nigel said, that's their job, back into the opposition, and you then lose the ball. If you're the attacking forward, it's the one side, there's one position in the pitch where possession really doesn't count. It's about getting the goals and the attacking movements off the ball.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd give them, for the attitude and the bit of grit and the winding up nature of the game, I'd give them both a 7 just for the handbags, really. It just made me chuckle a couple of times in the game.
Yeah, I love that. That's okay.
Okay. All right. We'll mark them up for the Louis Vuitton handbags. Absolutely superb. Okay, brilliant. But I mean, Divock, when he came on, he was absolutely superb. But Mo Salah, I think we need to talk about that cross. Michael Owen before the game had a little sort of feature on some of Mo Salah's assists this season because there were so many they didn't have time to go through them. But his assist making is not spoken about enough. That cross today, like the one for Diaz last week, and one for Mane like the week before. He's got this way of weighting his crosses that makes the goalkeeper just like irrelevant. Like he just takes the goalkeeper out of the game, and it was so perfect, that cross. Was it with his right foot, or is my memory deceiving me? It was with his right foot, that cross for Robbo's goal.
Yeah, right foot, mate. Yeah, I've just looked at the quick goal there. The trajectory really to get that over. Obviously, I think there was an overload. Obviously, Rob brought the back stick as well, but absolutely tremendous, mate. And yeah, he's as much as we want Mo to get like an hat-trick every single game, it's not going to happen. But as you said there, Owen's assists this season, I think need to be getting spoken about a lot more because what he does, Mikalenko played as well as he could down the left-hand side, kept him always quiet, but there was no stopping him with that. Especially, I think that he checks his run, like he angles, slows down a bit, but obviously we'll speak about it in a minute. But Mo, right foot, even though he tends to sometimes not use his right foot, but he's got a wonder of right foot, if you could say as well.
And it was superb interplay between him and Origi. But I would give Mo Salah, I'd give him a 9 and 9.5. His persistence as well, Nigel, like Thiago, he knows how to win matches and he knows to never give up, and he just always believes in himself, and he goes and he goes and he goes. What do you make of Mo Salah?
Yeah, I think that's it. He just tries and tries and tries again. And what you just said there actually triggered something there. I said to you, we were on last week, and I said to you, the key to the way we play was getting the ball in front of our players. Sadio Mane's goal last week, and this goal, Salah's ball, put the ball into the space and let Robbo attack the space. That's our key. And Everton were trying to stop us getting the ball into the spaces, and eventually they couldn't. So it's as simple as that. That's our key: ball into space.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, would you be giving Mo what would you give him, a 9.5 as well?
Yeah, we give him a 9.5 because he just never stops. He just goes and goes and goes and goes. Gets kicked, lumps kicked out of him all the time. 3 and 4 men doubling up on him all the time, and just no complaints.
That's his 85th goal contribution with assist as well included. I think is that in the league? It's madness in a Premier League season. Crazy stuff. Well, bloody hell!
It's madness.
He defies expectations every single week, don't you, Mo? Well, long way to continue. Long way to go. Keep on it.
But it's not even. But it is his 35th. Yeah, 22 goals and 13 assists now in 31 games.
Yeah.
I mean, we thought we'd never see, anyone like Suarez 13-14 again, didn't we? But Mo Salah, I mean, he's already hit a 44-goal season, and in terms of assists, he's way up there this season. But it's the way he never gets a decision his way as well. Like, this is something that he smiles a lot when the ref makes a bad call. He doesn't even say, ref, that's bullshit. Like, 99% of footballers say, what are you on about, ref? He just sort of gives this rueful smile. And he's like, you reckon that was off me, was it? No. You reckon that was no foul, was it? Okay. All right.
Yeah, sorry
Let's
there, that
play
one.
on
Yeah,
then.
that's the
Go
elite
on.
level, mate, isn't it? I want to pick up there. What he said is absolutely perfect. That's what separates the elite level players against the pigeons at the other end of the pitch. You got Richarlison falling over, Salah at the opposite end of the pitch this season. As he said, he gets kicked, volleyed every single game, gets back up, and goes again. But yeah, sorry, mate, I have to say that. But it's
No,
an
as you're
important point
absolutely
there,
right.
mate.
And
Yeah,
I think he deserves better, more respect and more protection from referees because he doesn't get it. He doesn't go to
Definitely
ground
not.
very often. But there you go. But the other attacker we haven't really spoken about yet. Before I end our review by talking about Divock again, because we can never talk too much about Divock. But Luis Diaz came on, and he didn't just have Coleman, as mustard on his toast. He wolfed him down and digested him, and passed him through his body time and time again. He was Nigel. Diaz. I mean, you could see the difference when he came on to before. Before was our old attack where we're like, oh, we're trying our best and maybe we'll get one. And then when Diaz, I mean, of course, he inadvertently sort of makes the goal with this bouncing volley for Divock's header, but it's just the danger. It's just non-stop danger. I don't know which way he's going to turn. The defenders don't know. Nobody knows. He's lightning quick. He does everything. He's worth at least double what we've paid for him.
Oh yeah.
Already.
Two words. Natural winger.
Yes.
Absolutely. You've got like Mo is he's always said he's a winger. Sadio is kind of more of an inside forward kind of a thing, the old position. Jota is more of a centre forward. Luis Diaz is an absolute natural winger. Pace, power, and lots of skill. He just goes at people and they don't know what way he's going to go. So, but he probably doesn't know what way he's going to go. But how are they going to know? So I just think, he's a perfect file for games like that, where they've got a low block on and they're trying to deny us space by kind of doubling and tripling up on our players. Stick him out wide, get the ball into his feet, and we saw what happened.
Yeah, totally. Unbelievable. I mean, just a few stats. I mean, he actually had 100% passing, but I think it wasn't from many passes. I'll just see how many passes he managed. 13 passes. I mean, it's not nothing. 100% passing. He got an assist. He got the most amount of shots on our team with 3 shots today, and all of that in 30 minutes of football. He came on and destroyed them. I mean, him against a fully fit and firing Seamus Coleman, he's going to roast him 99 times out of 100. But against a tiring Seamus Coleman, I mean, it's 100 out of 100. It's perfection. Like his passing.
Chase back as well. Chase back and won a couple of balls.
His attitude is sublime. It's the perfect. I mean, how much is he worth? I mean, let's say, for example, if Neymar's actually worth 220 million, then Luis Diaz is 280 or something. I mean, God knows, but he's way more than 45 or whatever he paid for him. Jack, what do you reckon to Luis Diaz, Jack?
Yeah, I think we've robbed Porto yet again. We've robbed another club of the top talent. I don't know how Edwards or the people, Michael Ward as well, do all these deals, but long may it continue. With Jurgen Klopp and the people in the backroom staff. These you contrast. I think they were speaking in the post in the Sky Studios, and you look at Everton's business. Recruitment at Liverpool Football Club is why we're in this right position, along with the big man himself, Jurgen Klopp. But as Nigel said, he's a natural winger. You don't know if he's going left or right, but the arrogance of him to do an over kick in a derby at the back post. His first touch.
His first touch of the ball was the one that was like sort of he flicked his right leg around his left leg and controlled this crossfield pass.
Yeah, it's like, again, I always say, you don't know superlatives to describe him and Mo and all of our players, but he's got that Colombian magic. I can't wait to see what the future holds for this lad. But yeah, if you're Coleman, he sends him into retirement. He should have retired a couple of years ago anyway, because he's
the non-powder version of the Colombian Magic, by the way.
Yeah, and he loves a little dance as well, like all our forwards do. But
superb.
Yeah.
Superb. I mean, there's so much to look forward to, but there you go. So just finally from today, just to talk a little bit more about Divock. Just moments from him. I mean, he got a 90%. Well, he basically got 9 out of his 10 passes were accurate today. The way he held up the ball was great. His physicality was the thing that struck me. I mean, besides the absolute joy of his goal, I had to take my headphones off because I knew I would destroy them, and I was just like going absolutely mad on my chair at home. And I'm sure there are millions of people across the world going equally mad. Jack, going back to you, you can even talk about his goal and what you did to celebrate, or you can talk about his physicality. That you can talk about the brilliant link-up play with Mo for the goal and what a difference he made today. Talk about whatever you want, but I just want to hear things about Divock.
What more can you say about this, fellas? We said at the top of the show, and Carragher said on commentary, we'll build a statue, especially if you're an Everton fan, you are despising this man. He destroys every single derby that you've ever watched over the last 5-6 years. The Pickford crossbar goal, this goal could have massive ramifications, really, in terms of where the title does go come what the end of May. But he's tremendous. He never moans at all. Does his performance and that little build-up play. It looks simple, but obviously for the hold-up play for Mo, but his angle and his body, simple pass. Jurgen's told him exactly what he wants. Get in the box with obviously Jota, Robbo, and everyone whoever's in there. But I don't even know. I've run out of words, and there's probably not enough words in the dictionary. So I'm pretty sure they have to put the word Origi in the dictionary, especially in the Scout one. Because he is going to go down and out Anfield folklore, especially if we do the unthinkable, hopefully, come what the end of May in the Prem. But there's still a lot of big games to go, still so much football, and I'm pretty sure this is not the last contribution Divock Origi will do this season. Maybe in the Champions League final. Hopefully, we need to get past the semis first, but Divock, Nigel, it's bloody beautiful.
Yeah. Well, I want everybody to put on, everybody listening here, everybody tweeting, whatever, put on a song tonight. Put on Seven Nation Army by the White Stripes. And you know the bass line? Oh, Divock Origi. That's it. Song for the night. In your head all day and tomorrow.
Absolutely. I just looked up a synonym of hero. And among the 51 synonyms of hero, there's things like champion, conqueror, knight, paladin, person of the hour, protector, and savior. And all hail Divock, all hail, because
absolutely
he's made our dreams come true yet again with another goal, and we absolutely adore him. So just, I don't know. We've been through the team. We've given a lot of player ratings. We've been talking for an hour. I'm gonna have to chip off soon. But before I go, guys, we got Villarreal, and I'm worried that the expectation is going to be too high. The expectation is going to be too high that we're going to take a 2 or 3 goal lead to the next match away to Spain. I'd be happy enough with a draw, on Wednesday, because it's a long way. There's a long way to go in the Champions League and a double-legged, 2-legged semi-final. I mean, we can't underestimate them. What are your thoughts, Nigel, on Wednesday?
There might be some thoughts from fans, I think, about we'll beat them easily and stuff like that. The players won't think that. Jurgen Klopp won't think that. The coaches won't think that. That's what needs to be right. I think if that's right, and we're allowed, or we're able to play at our best like we were once we scored the first goal today, I think we will win. That's what I'm hoping anyway.
Well, let's hope so. Jack, they're not doing so well in La Liga. The last time I looked, which is before this weekend's fixtures, I think they're about 7th. roughly 20 points off the top, something like that. What do you know about them, and what are you expecting? I mean, they're unbeaten in their last 5, with 3 wins and 2 draws, including beating Bayern Munich 1-0. Before then, so they're so the last 5. I'll just go through the results quickly because they're in front of me. So they beat Bayern Munich 1-0, then they drew with Athletic Bilbao 1-1. Then they drew 1-1 with Bayern again. They beat Getafe 2-1 away. And then in the last match, 5 days ago, they beat Valencia at home 2-0. They're not to be messed with or underestimated in the slightest. And, like on the break, they could do a lot of damage, especially with Dan Juma, who's a brilliant player.
Yeah, 100%, mate. I watched the second leg, and I did watch the back when they beat Juventus. Obviously, Juventus aren't the fourth that they once were, but you've got to be wary, as Nigel said. The mentality, I think it helps that the Bayern Munich game come prior to this result, and Jurgen Klopp can demonstrate and they can go through technically. But Bayern were so poor on the ball in terms of that second leg.
Shocking.
I think when you got they're just very wasteful. Like just something that we done perfectly today. We weren't wasting. We just kept on playing. But obviously Chukwueze, I think Gerard Moreno potentially could be injured. I think he did come off this week, so he could be a potential miss. Yeah, Dan Juma, I think a couple of clubs in Europe have missed the trick on him. Very agile attacking winger. He used to be a Bournemouth, so we should have, and hopefully we do get. I'd even take a 2-0 lead. It'd be positive, but these lads haven't let up yet. All of them are all captains, but Parejo and obviously the Lo Celso, obviously the ex-Tottenham midfielders were very technical. What they done perfect with Bayern was playing in those different channels. But I think Bayern were a bit too, obviously they were chasing the game. They needed that goal, but I'm pretty sure Bayern haven't got a Virgil van Dijk, they haven't got a Matip, you haven't got a Kanate, and you haven't got a Joe Gomez, and you haven't got an Alisson Becker, even though got Manuel Neuer, but we should have, I'm pretty sure we've got Everton to...
I think Bayern, I think Bayern lads were the same as they played against us in the away leg. Remember, I was at the home leg, the 0-0 draw, when we played them in the Champions League, and they came for a point and got it. Yeah. And we played them out there. They said, "Oh, we're going to come out here with this big swagger, and we're going to play this attacking football, and we're going to tear you apart." Mane scored that brilliant goal where he turned Neuer. They equalised, and they were still trying to play with this swagger. And then Virgil scored the third goal, and then Mane scored the second goal, and Mane scored the third goal, and they didn't know what was up for hitting him. I think it was a bit like that as well. A little bit of overconfidence with Bayern, because they do it week in, week out in the Bundesliga, and there's no contest. 10 leagues in a row as of yesterday.
That's embarrassing.
It is. I just don't think such a weak league. They're a very good side, but I just don't think a weak league in Germany helps them in the long run for European competition, mentality-wise.
It's the same in France. I mean, Paris
It's
Saint-Germain
the same everywhere.
Their 10th title, not in a row, but in their history.
They were second last year in a one-team league,
Well, yeah, but I mean, Lille were good. They had to give a lot of credit.
They were.
Sven Botman was amazing, and Jose Font, formerly of Southampton.
Yeah, that's right.
But going back to Villarreal, I mean, they've conceded 31 goals in 33 matches, which is 2 fewer than Barcelona, who have conceded 33, and surprisingly 8 fewer than Atletico Madrid and Diego Simeone. So Simeone's team's conceded 39 goals, and Unai Emery's team only 31. They're going to be really tough. We're going to have to take care. We're going to have to keep going and keep being relentless, put the pressure on. We're going to have to defend as well as we did today in these one-on-one situations. We're going to need Alisson to be at his best as well. But thanks so much to Jack and to Nigel for joining me today. Jack, what are your next programs on Jack Mac LFC on YouTube?
Yeah, don't be doing a post-match. You're welcome to join, boys. Just Jack Mac LFC and all socials. Reds, thank you for allowing me to come on. Great to speak to Nigel again. And the Reds are getting 3 points yet again. But fantastic. Everyone, enjoy it. Go into the game on Wednesday, and we're absolutely bloody flying. Up to this.
We are indeed. Nigel, final thoughts, Nigel?
No, just happy we got the result and on to the next one.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much to everybody for listening. It's been it's so good that people take the time to check it out. coponpodcast@gmail.com if you want to get in touch. But thank you so much to everybody in YouTube, everybody listening to the audio version. And as Gary Richard says in the chat, the blue ship has sunk. LOL. We'll see you soon. You'll never walk alone. Thank you.